have to think about putting away my tropical garden for the winter. So I have a good bit of stuff to go into the polytunnel, but when I look in the polytunnel, I am looking at all the work that needs to be done. My God, all those tomatoes need to go out. The rosemary needs to be trimmed back, the cosmos need to go, the sunflowers need to go. Everything needs to be tidied up to make room for stowing away the plants for winter. So there's a lot of work to be done in here even before I go out and start digging up the plants. And every year this seems to get a little bit harder. But look, it's been great this year. The tomatoes we got were just gorgeous, really. Got tons of them. Money makers and beef tomatoes. Not so many beef tomatoes, but when you got them they were really worth it. But now everything's at an end here, so yeah, still a few tomatoes here and there, and there's nothing like tomatoes you grow at home. Anybody who does that, anybody who grows them at home will know that the flavour is just amazing. I've often bought organic tomatoes in the shops and some of them taste okay. Others are bland and tasteless, and definitely the ones that are not organic are very tasteless anyway. So, but this is a real revelation if you grow your own tomatoes. If you don't, I highly recommend it. They're just amazing. Hello, Puss. Hello, Puss. How are you? So anyway, I brought in most of the tropical stuff that requires shelter from the frost and rain and cold over the winter. So yeah, I left it as late as I could, and I think it's the 29th of October now, so we're due wet weather all week, and I'm going to be working anyway, so probably won't get a chance to do much more with the garden. So anyway, look, the really good stuff is brought in. That's the Chinese dwarf banana. I actually overwintered that in my office last year, and I put it out too soon, I'd say. I put it out in May, and what actually happened was it all died back completely, and it's only just catching up there again now. It was twice the size of that, but now it's going to get hit by cold weather again, but it'll be fine next year. It always comes back. So, and that's the Brugmansia Angel's Trumpets. I've 3 of those, which I grew from a cutting, all from the same source actually. I had more, but some of them died, but they're really nice. They're poisonous, but snails do like them all the same. So they'll probably die back most of the way in the winter time. See, here's some of the dead wood I cut off last year. And actually that stem, which was quite sizable, as you can see by the girth of it, actually shrank back, died back to that piece there. So, but they always grow back, but kind of late in the season, as with all tropical stuff. Lemon tree, that'll be fine over winter. It'll drop the leaves, but it'll be grand. There's a canna in there as well, that beautiful canna Durban, and what else? The colocasia, and there's a little echium that was grown in the tropical garden from seed. Like I say, last year, into the season last year, all of my echiums died from frost, but some of the seeds survived. So there's one. You'll always know them because the leaves are kind of hairy, almost prickly, and sometimes they have little spots in them as well on the leaves, if you look closely enough. And yeah, more lemon trees growing from seed, a bit raggedy looking. And this, I collected this seed initially. It's a palm. At my brother's wedding 8 years ago, and it hasn't really grown much, but it's actually the smallest of the 3 seeds I collected. They all sprouted, they all germinated, and this was one of them also. But This was planted in a dark place for the last year or two and it really didn't take off and needs sunlight, but it survived the winters outside. So again, colocasia, that's a ginger, beautiful ginger. It's about ready to flower and I had to bring it in. It'll flower in here. More colocasia, the ginger flowering there, the same ginger. That's ginger gardenium, I think it's called, or gardenium. Yeah. And cannas, it's a canna. Brought some of the cannas in just to see would they come back sooner, give them that extra protection over winter. And that's another ginger gardenium, or gardenia, I'm not sure of the name of it actually, but that always comes back too. And on this side then, another ginger, canna. That's the banana, the Musa sycamensis. So I actually cut that back, all the leaves off it, and I turned it upside down to let it drain of water. So hopefully the stem will overwinter. And there's a few pups coming off it there, you can see, and a stray tomato. A few pups coming off there. That's Musa sycamensis too, Musa sycamensis, canna. That's just a castor oil plant. It's not going to last, obviously. Another canna there. The thing with the Musa sycamensis is last year I didn't cut off the leaves. And even though I covered up the stem, I'll be covering up all of these winter fleeces. It died right back to the ground. And that was the first year in many years that happened. So again, that Musa was about 30% bigger, I'd say, 1/3 bigger, I'd say, than last year than it is this year, because it died right back to the ground. So I'll be trying to avoid that happening. And I actually had more than just 3, I had maybe 4 or 5 of them, so I lost a few as well. And sure, the strawberries are running wild, so I'll have to pick some of these and transplant them into pots, so we'll have some strawberries for next year. And that's it really. After clearing out the polytunnel, made a bit of room, so now I'll just put the fleece on. That's the begonia in there. I think that one's called Firecracker. And I'll just leave that in the pot and it'll come back next year. Or I could take it out and divide it now, and hopefully I have 2 of them next year. So maybe, depends how energetic I feel. And that's it really. Okay, talk to you later.